Okay, enough with the coughing, enough with the sniffling, enough. I hate blowing my nose. Oh my god. It is the worst feeling in the world. I've always hated doing it. Oh, being sick is the worst. Oh god. Hi guys. Okay, so today I'm sure that you can tell that I do not look fabulous at all. I'm not feeling fabulous. I have a really nasty cold after weeks of having hay fever, and so I'm just feeling bleh. But I wanted to do a tutorial on how to do your makeup when you're sick. We're adults. We can't, kids are the ones that have the option of lying around and watching TV when they're sick, and especially if you're a parent, you don't have that option. You have to get up and you have to go, and a lot of the times you have to work and you may have meetings or whatever, and you don't want to go, looking like death. You also don't necessarily want to do a lot of makeup because you feel gross, your skin feels gross. I don't know if you're like me, but when I have a cold, my skin gets really sensitive, really dry, and it breaks out like crazy. Like I'm very nasal. And I thought I'd go from start to finish so you can see the before. Now we're gonna get into the makeup. So one of the first things that you need to do is you need to clean your face gently. I just used a cream cleanser, washed my face really gently with warm water, and then I put on moisturizer, and I also put on eye cream. Put extra around my nose because I've been blowing my nose a lot, and so my nose is very red. You can see I've got puffiness under here. It's not actually puffy. It looks puffy because it's kind of dark here. I've got darkness going on right here, so I'm going to show you guys how to conceal that and the whole thing. So let's just get started. Like I said, I have on my moisturizer. I am going to prime my skin. I'm using my L'Oreal Miracle Blur. You want to prime because you want your foundation to stay on. If you're very, very dry, you might want to use a cream primer. I do still have oily skin, even though my skin feels very dehydrated when I'm sick. So I'm going to use my silicone-based primer. So I'm going to try my best not to snuffle and sniff my way through this, but if I do, please forgive me. Yeah, alright, so now I'm going to go in with my foundation first. You don't want a lot of stuff on your skin. Like I said, you might be feeling really, really gross. You want your skin to breathe. So I am going to use my L'Oreal True Match. This is really, really good foundation. If you put it on really thin, you still get good coverage because it has such great pigment, but you don't have a whole lot of stuff on your skin. So I'm going to dot my foundation onto my face. And I'm going to kind of work from the center outwards. And I kind of like this too because, once again, my skin is quite sore. So this feels very nice and cool and almost soothing as opposed to rubbing and pressing at my skin with a brush. I'm just going to go for a little tiny bit more on my forehead because I do have that wonderful breakout going on my forehead. It's not really like big pimples, it's just roughness in the skin. Your skin just screams mutiny. At least mine does when I'm sick. Okay, foundation's done. Now I need to correct these dark circles of mine. For concealer, again, you're not going to want to do the whole highlight shebang thing. Especially, I guess it's not only that you don't want to wear a whole lot of makeup when you're sick, it's that you just don't feel like it. You don't feel good sitting up to try to do makeup. Like right now, I feel like I want to just put my head down and sleep. So I'm going to go in with a gentler concealer. The Maybelline Age Rewind that I use all the time is still my favorite. I love it, but it is a little bit opaque, and with dehydrated skin, I don't want to look like I have on that much. So I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me concealer, going back to that one, and I have the colors number 35, which is a little too dark for me. And then the color, one that's a little bit too light for me, number 10. What you want to do when you have dark circles, especially when they're purpley or blue, if you put a lighter concealer over very dark circles, and this goes for anybody who needs to color correct in general, if you put a lighter concealer on first, it's just going to go ashy and disgusting. So if you are darker skinned, you can use orange concealer, like this. If you are more like my complexion and lighter, you want to use salmon-y kind of colors. I actually don't have a salmon concealer, a personal salmon concealer. I've got one that's for my kid, but I really don't want to use that when I have a cold. So I'm going to use a tiny little bit of my orange concealer. I'm going to get it out with the back of a brush, very, very little. Put it on my hand. And and I'm going to mix in a little bit of this darker concealer. This concealer I could actually wear as a foundation. It's kind of almost the same, matches my skin color. You can use a spatula for this if you have one. If not, the back of a brush works fine. And I'm just going to kind of mix those two together. The pinkiness or the oranginess of the salmon colors and the orange concealer is what helps to cancel out that blue. If you look at the color wheel, the color blue and purple is opposite orange on the color wheel, and that's what yellow is going to make it go ashy again. So you want to use more of an orangey, salmony concealer. So that's kind of the color I've come up with, and I'm going to apply this with a brush, but then I'm going to buff it out with my beauty blender. So I'm going to get this right into the corner of my eye, all the way here, and I'm actually going to take it all the way over my lid too, because I do get shadowy, purpley on my lids when I'm sick. So again, my beauty blender, I'm going to take the pointy end now. I'm also going to take it over my two blemishes. See, immediately it's starting to look better, even though it's a little bit pinky now around my eyes, but that's okay because we're going to go in with a lighter concealer. So I'm going to take the number 10 one. That's something you really, really want to remember when you're working on yourself when you're sick, is don't put your brushes into your products as much as possible, especially your cream products. You don't want to transfer the bacteria that's made you sick to begin with. And just apply a little bit right here where you want to be, where you want to brighten up. I'm tapping it on because we already have quite a creamy concealer under there already, and we don't want to disturb it. So I'm going to go back in with my beauty blender. So the basics of this is that you want to lift and highlight without doing a whole lot of stuff. So already that just looks better. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, very, very little, in the center of my forehead and on my brow bone, just for a little touch more brightness. Not really trying to highlight again, highlight, contour, highlight thing. Just, you want to bring parts of the face forward. So I'm going to go back in with a darker concealer, and I'm going to take this around the nose. The last thing you want is a really light concealer around the nose. So I'm going to let that just settle into the skin and do my brows. Concealer's done. I have not powdered yet. I'm going to let it all sink in and dry into my face as long as possible so that I don't have to use too much powder. And I'm going to move on to the eyes. So for eyes, you can kind of do whatever you want, but I will say I prefer to not use anything that's too shimmery, because if your eyes are puffy, it's going to make them look puffier. So it's better to go with mattes or something that's very low sheen shimmer. So I am going to powder my eyelids a little bit, just with my Dream Matte powder and a fluffy brush. I'm going to go in with cream pencils. These pencils, the ones I'm going to use are by Physicians Formula. They're the Kohl Kajal ones. And now, they claim to be waterproof. I don't find that they're waterproof. They can still smudge, but they do last. Once I powder a little bit first, I know it's kind of like a no-no to put cream products over powder, but if I powder a little bit and like I was pressing it onto my eyes, that just sets down the concealer or foundation or whatever you've put on your eyes, and I find that it works. So if you don't have super oily eyes, you could just try this. So this is the trio. This is the natural nude eyes, I think, or something it's called. And there's a champagne color, a brown taupey kind of color, and a black. The black is quite shimmery. I am first, dropping everything. I'm going to go in with the mocha color, and I'm going to just get that all over the bottom portion of my mobile lid. This is a really pretty color. It's kind of a cool brown. It's got a shimmery, slightly shimmeriness to it, but as you can see, it's not a lot of shimmer. Pull it up into the corner like that. Base shadow brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just gonna really gently. I like this because it's kind of idiot proof, and when I'm sick, I feel a little bit like an idiot. Just a really kind of gentle finish, and so there's not much to it. This is what I recommend if you're really feeling terrible and you have to get ready quickly, or you just don't have the energy to do a whole lot of stuff on your face. Something like this is really, really quick and simple. So when these pencils go on in a really nice thin layer like this, I do find them to last. But you can, of course, go back over with a powder eyeshadow if you want to, or if you have a translucent powder, you can pat a little bit of it on top. And carry this underneath my, kind of just into my lashes, not really going out underneath, because again, I don't want to create any more shadows than I necessarily have to. I'm already shadowy enough under there as it is. And then I'm going to go in with the champagne color and take it right through here. I'm going to use this as a cheek highlight as well. So I'm just going to run it a little bit along my cheek and tap it in. And that's actually really pretty. I had not done this before, but I was just hit with divine inspiration, so I did it. So now that I'm looking at my face and I see light, I'm realizing that I'm a little bit dark right here, so I am going to take a little tiny bit of my concealer. Just tap it right here over the cheeks. See the difference that makes? You know that I hate seeing the waterline peeking through, especially if you've curled your lashes and put on mascara and you can see that line. It just, oh, bleh. But at the same time, when you're sick, your eyes tend to look red and watery, and I just, and I think that seeing that strip of flesh makes it look so much worse. So I'm only going to tightline. I'm not going to line my waterline. It's going to help my lashes look a little thicker, so that's always a plus. I'm using my L'Oreal Infallible Pencil in Carbon Black. Now I'm going to curl my lashes. You want to open the eyes up, so curling is definitely not something that I'm going to skip. If I didn't do anything on my eyes, I would still curl my eyelashes upon a little bit of mascara. Using my Voluminous Butterfly Lashes mascara. This is waterproof, which is an absolute must for me if my eyes start watering, that I'm not going to get black streaks down my face. This mascara is seriously incredible. I really didn't think that I was going to like any mascara as much as I like my Maybelline Colossal Volume. But this mascara really, and I'm such a snob about mascara. I'm really hard to impress when it comes to mascara. So I'm going to take a soft, fluffy brush like this, and I'm just going to get some of my Dream Matte powder on it. Not a lot. I'm just going to kind of pat it under my eyes, to set under there, across my cheeks, all the places that I get oily. Then I'm going with my L'Oreal True Match powder, same brush, just really gently and quickly set the rest of my face. Take it across my cheeks just a bit. Like I said, I'm not contouring. I'm kind of putting it where I would put blush. A little bit over the bridge of the nose can tend to make you look quite healthy. And then I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal True Match blush, Soft Sable. Just like this color very much. It's a very natural, kind of peachy color. I'm going to get it kind of high up on the cheek, because again, I want to lift the face. I'm using the same brush for all of this because it's a fluffy brush and I'm not picking up a lot of product on it. So once I apply the product to my face and work it in, it's kind of just gone from the brush, if that makes any sense. Okay, and that's basically it. For lips, you can do whatever you want. I already have on some lip balm. I'm using my Baby Lips. Maybelline Color Sensational lip gloss, and this one is in the color Iced Chocolate. This is gonna set around my nose a little bit more than the rest of my face was set, because once again, I am blowing my nose often. The very last thing I'm going to do, I've decided that my face needs it, is a little bit more brightness in the inner corner. So I'm going to take this MAC pigment that I've been loving, the one that we don't know the name of, if you've been watching my videos. I'm going to take it on a really small brush and just pat it right there in the inner corner of my eye. Oh, what a difference that makes. And that is it, basically, for my makeup when you're sick look. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If it was helpful. This is a good simple makeup anyway to do, you know, like for a day out, especially in summer when you don't want to wear a lot of makeup. But this is what I do when I'm sick and I need quick makeup that's not going to make me feel weighed down, feel like I have a lot of stuff on my face. It's going to just brighten me up a little bit and make me not look like death warmed over. I hope that was helpful for you. I am going to go and wash my face and curl up in a ball and feel sorry for myself. So please give me a thumbs up and comment down below and subscribe if you're not subscribed and all that good stuff. And I will see you in my next video.